So let's get started. We're a couple of minutes in. Let's do our check-in 1 to 10. You guys know the drill. I'm probably an 8 today. I was having some issues with a head cold and some low back pain. Oh, look, the trout. He's Chris is by a stream and this trout's working his way up. That's so cool. That's very cool. Oh, there's Therese. Hey, Therese, welcome.
Good morning. Sorry for
We're
being
do,
late.
no worries, no worries. We're doing our 1 to 10. I'm an 8. All that stuff's behind me. I'm feeling good today. Woke up feeling good. Got a great night's sleep, and so 8 for next week. I'm going to the beach, so that's going to be my Myrtle Beach for almost a week, and that's going to be my total downtime relaxation. Not taking my computer, putting out an autoresponder that says I ain't checking email. Um, all right, so Rob's a 6, Craig's a 7. And what are you guys going to do? Rob, start. What are you going to do this coming week to get up to a 7 or an 8?
I'll be down the coast from you over on Hilton Head.
Mm, nice,
Yep.
nice.
Week away, a family trip.
Oh, good. Craig, what about you?
Next week, I am going to a baseball game up in Milwaukee. So
Oh,
that'll be
nice.
our little getaway in Chicago and
Cool.
go north. And I already live on the beach, so don't need to go to the beach, I guess.
All right. Yeah, good. Therese, you're a 5. Anything we can do to help? And tell us what you're going to do in the coming week to get up to a 6, maybe, or a 7.
I think no, nothing. I think it's just more it was my late husband's birthday on
Oh,
Monday. So it's one of those times where I know I'm not going to feel great. I'm not
right.
sleeping great, all of the things.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, it's weird. Even if you don't consciously remember the date, your body, it's this
yes.
physical memory, right?
Yes.
And you just will feel real heavy or
Hmm.
sad, and you'll go, "Oh crap! No wonder." You know.
Well, and it's hard. It's like it's not even like where he wasn't a big birthday person, so it
Yeah.
wasn't like oh that, but it was also very always a busy period with his job. So
Yeah.
it's that memory of like having to rush around and do all these things and repack and do like it, and
Yeah.
it's all kind of gone now. So that's where I'm at a 5, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to work on it. But I
Yeah.
guess some of this when you expect it, it's like I have to let myself feel it so I can kind of move through it, right? Or at least that's what they
Exactly.
told
So
me.
that's just moving through the grief. Um,
Hmm.
and that's plenty to do, believe me. All right. So
Thank you.
Chris, you're 6.75. What's your go-to?
Just kind of hanging out by the water and stuff. But I was 6, but after like I said, I was down in Baltimore doing a couple presentations, and they went really well, and I had really good conversations. So more shooting towards a 7.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to talk about meetings today. Um, I got some stuff that I want to go through with you, but tell me about meetings and what's your current state of meetings, and do they truly suck, or have you figured it out? And if you figured it out, what's your hacks? What's your tricks to get better meetings? Because we've got a whole section in the time management course online about time wasters, and meetings is one of the biggest ones. So, anybody just open up, chat in, talk, unmute, and talk. What's your meeting hacks?
First off, let me say I hate meetings that don't need to be meetings.
Yeah,
I hate a
totally.
meeting that should have been an email.
Yeah,
And it seems like after COVID, there was a lot of those.
yeah,
You walk in, you're prepped. Okay, there's going to be this meeting, and 7 minutes later, it's like, okay, well, that's all done. The hell am I even doing here?
yeah. I think if you can't state the purpose of the meeting, and usually it's a meeting is to get some outcome, whether that's team building or a review of current status or whatever those things are for a meeting. If you can't state what you're going to get out of it, probably shouldn't have a meeting. All right, what else? Anybody else? What you got?
No,
I
I
think a
agree
lot of
with
it.
the. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Who is next? Therese, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to echo the, this meeting could have been an email. I
Yeah.
definitely, one of the things I look forward to for meetings is having an agenda, like you said, where
Yes.
if we all know what we're walking in for, then we can all help each other maybe stay on track. Because
Yeah.
there is a tendency, especially after COVID, where I feel like they've become more social. People want to see
Yes.
each other and they want to have lunch. Which is great, but let's have an agenda so we also aren't, it's not sucking up our,
Right.
3 hours where it could have been, just that hour.
And have you guys ever done a timed agenda? That can be helpful as well, a timed agenda, because there's something called the Parkinson's rule of time, that you fill the time that you've allotted for that particular thing. So if you have a really short time, you're going to try to get that item on the agenda done in that period of time. So that's also a kind of a good way to do it. Have a timed agenda, and then if you have to go over time, you vote on it and say, "Yeah, we're going to go over time." And
You know what?
we'll give. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Another interesting one to me is construction industry. We're usually early for everything.
Yeah.
And I've been, like, let's say, in the parking lot of my office, finishing up a phone call, half hour to the meeting, and I'm getting a text, "Are you here yet?" We're all in the room. We're okay. Well, it's there's still a half hour.
Right.
I'm trying to finish or gather what I want to bring to the meeting, but now I'm being rushed.
Yeah. Wow. All right, Rob
If
chatted
you
in.
want 6:30, I'll be there at 6:30.
Yeah,
Don't tell
just
me
tell me.
7.
Yeah, right. All right, Rob said groundhog meetings repeat, 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 which means there's probably no deliverable at the end, and there's nobody assigned to the deliverable. So they just hang in the air for weeks and weeks and weeks. So somebody's got to resolve that issue. And that's the other thing, is make sure you have, if you've got things that need to get done or resolved, assign it to a person and give them a deadline to solve it, right? And that requires good facilitation. So it's also good if you have a good timed agenda to have a timekeeper and a facilitator, and maybe that's the same person. But sometimes we go into these meetings and they're just open and collaborative and everybody just kind of hangs out. But somebody needs to be in charge if you want to get through that meeting pretty quickly. All right, cool. Any other hacks, meeting hacks? Because I got more. I got some good ones.
I tell you, the most uncomfortable one I sit in is doing, we call them discovery calls in the sales world, when you're calling somebody that kind of said they're sort of maybe interested, and it's that weird, awkward thing of like, hey, look, everyone's dancing around and it's so hard. I'm the one that'll normally cut the noise and be like, look, do you like what we got? You want to buy it or not?
Yeah.
And there's
If not,
all this
we're
maneuvering and
done.
posturing. Yeah, they're trying to like reverse engineer, convince them to buy it
Yeah.
versus just like literally this week, I sent somebody a link about a new AI feature.
Yeah.
They did 2 discovery calls and they still haven't shown the AI feature. They keep asking questions and asking questions. Like, just pop the hood and show them. If they like it, ask more. 2 hours. Haven't shown
Oh
anything.
man. All right. So any others? Anybody? I'm gonna share screen, and if you're on your phone, I'll send these to you, or Chris. They're in the time management. They're in the time management course, so you can just go to Time Wasters.
Yeah, I'll be able to see your screen.
Yeah.
I could flip back and forth.
All right. So this one guy said, if I die, let it be in a meeting. The transition from life to death will be barely noticeable. I love that quote. All right. So, all right. Always have an agenda, timed agenda, timekeeper. We talked about all that. Then here's another kind of fun one called meeting bingo. I'll go to meeting bingo and show you what that is. So you create a grid, 1-inch squares, 25 1-inch squares, and you write in all of these things that we say during meetings. And I need to update this to add like AI and digital twin and some others, right? But anyway, so you write all those things in those squares, and then as people say those phrase, and you probably couldn't do this for like an owner meeting, but for an internal meeting, this could be really fun. And so as you hear these things being said, you mark them off, and if you get either a cross or diagonal or horizontal, vertical, or diagonal, you yell, "Holy crap!" if you get those. So there's some strategy involved here. So you can start saying the ones you need for your blocks, you know. But anyway, it's just a fun thing. I have done it for. We did it when we had just a project, just an internal project team meeting, and it can be a lot of fun. And you get to really explore all those cliche things that we say during meetings, and maybe it's some good ideas to say. Maybe we can quit saying a lot of this stuff. It doesn't give us any results, you know.
Don't forget to add circle back.
Yeah, circle back. It's a good one. I'm going to update this and update it to the course. So I'm going to write that down and add circle back. And we got to add AI because it's in everything we do now. And maybe digital twins a good one too, especially if it's a tech meeting, because that's a big deal. All right. So here's the second exercise. That's the meeting bingo. We got a field version and an office version, but you can make your own version. All right. Has anybody done any lean coffee meetings? Do you know what that is? Oh, this is so cool. Uh-oh, Therese dropped off. Let me get her back in. Hey, Therese, welcome back. So if you just Google lean coffee, it's a really cool way. It's like a Kanban. The Japanese call it a Kanban. So what you do is you get sticky notes and you create the agenda before the meeting. Like you don't have an agenda going in. You create what topics do we want to do today, and you write down each topic on a sticky note, and then you kind of organize them, and you have like 3 minutes for each topic, and you can kind of do the topics. You can vote on them and see which one needs to be first. But then you have 3 minutes on the topic, and then at the end of that 3 minutes, everybody votes. It's either thumbs up, like we're done, or thumbs down, we need more time. And then you say, okay, we're going to do 2 more minutes, and then we got to be done, and it'll go to the next meeting. But it's a really cool way, and it's developed with the lean process in mind, where it's very efficient. You get to things very quickly. You have to get a result because you only have 3 minutes to talk, or you can do whatever you want. You say 5 minutes and then an extra 3 minutes, whatever time period you have, but you have a set time for each agenda item. And then once you get that one done, you can put it in the done pile, or you can put it in the next week pile. And again, the next week you create the agenda and see where people are, see what you want to talk about. It's a really cool way. It's fun and it's quick and it's very efficient. So has anybody done this, or anybody have any experience with this? I've done this and it works really well. So try it. Google lean coffee meetings and see what you get. They'll tell you exactly how to do it. And there's different versions of it, but find what works for you. All right. Just jump in, anybody, anytime. I'm just going through what's in the course because there's some really good stuff here. Exercise 4, have meeting with different formats. Standing meetings, those tend to be shorter meetings. Go to a place where there's no chairs. So standing meetings are good. Walking meetings, safety would be a perfect walking meeting because you can be looking for hazards and looking for safety practices and PPE and all that stuff. What about just 10-minute meetings? Say we got 10 minutes. What are we going to get done in 10 minutes? What are we going to talk about? What are we going to try to solve? What do we need to move forward, right? And so you can do these different formats and see if they work better than usually it's an hour-long slot, sometimes a half an hour. Those can be really inefficient, which leads to exercise 5. Exercise 6. No, there's more. But have a designated no meeting day, no meeting Wednesdays, where you're not going to have to go to any meetings at your organization. That's a good way to do it too. So that day is usually your most productive day because you don't have, there's not going to be no meetings that day. So designate a day for no meeting. Maybe it's Friday, maybe it's Wednesday. Start every meeting with something fun. This makes a big difference in people wanting to come to meetings, right? And you just Google, icebreakers, energizers, openers, games. There's hundreds of thousands out there in the interwebs. So start with something kind of fun, just a real simple thing. There's real simple things you can do. And if you have trouble finding any good ones, I've got hundreds, if not thousands. All right, so here's the one that I like the most. Whatever your set meeting times are, cut them in half. So if it's a set hour meeting once a week, now it's 30-minute meeting. And see if you can accomplish everything you need to accomplish in that 30 minutes. And with Parkinson's rule, it's likely that you will. So then if that works, guess what? Cut it down to 15 minutes and see if you can get everything done that you need done in that amount of time. And guess what? Just keep cutting them in half till you get to the right time. Because I think we have these set times on meetings and we just have them because we've always had them. All right. So these are the exercises we've got for meeting time wasters in the time management. And you notice that it's time management based on lean principles. So the question you're constantly asking is, number one, how can we improve this process? Number two, does it add value? And if it's not adding value, why are we doing it? Right? All right, so I'm going to open it up. What do you guys think? Were some of these helpful? Were some of these you haven't heard before and you're going to try?
I like it.
I like the I'm just like thinking with like start every meeting. That could be something as easy as giving everybody a ticket. You get a roll of tickets from the store, give everybody a ticket that comes to the meeting, and you draw for a gift card to a coffee place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Simple.
Just something cool. You know what I mean?
So simple. It's easy to do. Just a real simple.
It also shows appreciation.
Yeah, exactly. And just a hey, what happened good this week? That's an easy icebreaker that starts the meeting off in a really positive way. Everybody gets input. Everybody's engaged because it's something about themselves. It's so simple. There's thousands of those.
Interesting in my world. Sometimes there's a meeting. You don't know who else was invited to that meeting. When it comes to staff, like Therese works in our funds. Don't know if funds people come. And then someone like Teresa walk through the door and like, oh shit, they're here too.
Right.
Now it starts going with what did we do?
Yeah.
Right. And the attorney's in the house and the accountant's in the house, and you're like, so like the icebreaker of what went well this week is a great thing. But that's what happens to us a lot of times.
By the way, I just put the Holy Crap Meeting Bingo Office and Field version in the chat if you want to just click that and download it. And anybody else, anything that that we went over that any of you talked about that you're going to try and give it a shot, see if you can get your meetings better?
I like the time, putting agenda items to time. That would be really valuable.
Yeah. It can, like I said, that Parkinson's rule of time is so true. You use the time that you've allotted. So just a lot less time, and you're going to probably spend less time for sure. All right.
Anybody else? Like with cutting the time too, it's like spit it out and say it.
Yeah.
Don't take this long road of, everything like boom, boom, give me the meat and potatoes and let's move on. Let's think about it. And we're meeting next week for a half hour too. So, we don't have to, sometimes you don't, people feel they have to explain it to like over explain.
Yeah, I know. I call those rabbit trails. We go down those rabbit trails, right? And it's hard to get back sometimes. That's where a good facilitator comes into play. They can say something like, hey, I would have a parking lot, just like you do with a lean, with a big room meeting. have a parking lot. And if you get down that rabbit trail and it's something you can't get a tackle in the next 15 minutes, put it in the parking lot. So we're going to revisit that. But right now, we can't solve this world hunger issue in 10 minutes. So it's a parking lot issue. We'll visit it later when we need to. Yeah, very cool. Anybody else?
I think the agenda, the timed agenda is something to try. We used to have this thing besides we don't know who's showing up and what the agenda is that we definitely, and you want to always think positively about some people, but I sometimes feel like people are taking us on rabbit trails on purpose, if that makes sense.
Maybe so, yeah.
It's more, somebody's presenting something and they need their question right away, but it's almost like, because it's attention, it's not so much that they have a question, they want the attention focused on them. So
yeah,
I don't know, a good way to trying to positively kind of reframe that. And I'll try that idea, like, hey, we're going to put this in the parking lot and then we'll come back to questions, because that's what ends up happening is this person is persistent and I need this question answered now.
right.
But then it derails what we're doing.
Yeah. And again, a really good solid facilitator is gold when those things happen, because those people can hijack those meetings so quickly, and you just have to have a strong hand. And I mean, you don't have to be rude. Just say, hey, that's important. We're going to revisit that. We just don't have time to do that right this. I hear you. It's important. Let's make sure we address it, but not today, right?
I think that's a good discussion of, and maybe it's something you could think on, Brent. I'm sure you got a million things, but how do you redirect people in a meeting when the rabbit trail, the facilitator is great, but if you don't have a facilitator, what's a good way to redirect back to the subject?
I think it's about acknowledging that it's important, or acknowledging that it's important to them anyway. It doesn't have to be important to you, but I think acknowledging that that's what they want. My theory is they just want to be heard. They want to vent. They want to get their point across. They want to maybe convince others in the room that this is something they should be doing. So it's important to them. So I think it's about acknowledging that importance and saying, we're going to address that, just not right this minute. And maybe even thank you for bringing that up. We really believe this is something we should address in some way, blah, blah, blah. Or if it's something totally ridiculous, maybe it's about the group sort of, hey, I'm not sure that this group needs to address that. What does everybody else think? Let's vote on this. Let's see if we can get our hands up. Who thinks this is important, that we should be able to address this now or later, and who thinks this is something we shouldn't be doing? Then that's a different discussion, but you can usually reroute it to either, yeah, we're going to do it, but later, or no, this is something we don't need to be doing at all. And if all of them vote no, the person that's bringing it up, what are they going to do? So let the group decide. That's another good thing for meetings, is a strong facilitator is great, but if it's more of a collaborative thing, then let the group do it. And you can even do some of the 1 to 10 stuff, or any kind of checking in how people are doing or how they're feeling about a topic. Is this important? Is this a 10? Like we should do this today, right this minute, or 1, maybe later or never, and see where people are. And then if you get a bunch of 3s and 4s, maybe it's time to shelve that particular thing. All right, cool. We're almost at time. It's so good to see everybody's face. Have a great weekend. Anybody want to close us out with anything?
Use some sunscreen, Brent.
All right, I will. And
enjoy your time off.
I think all of you have access to the courses, but if you want to share that with others, just tell me, let me know. And you can share that whole coupon. And if you feel others will get a lot of good out of the courses, please just let them take it. And I don't mind it a bit. The courses to me are more like a legacy for me. I mean, I'd like to make some money off them eventually. That's a long-term goal. But in the short-term goal, I just want people to try them and see if it makes a difference. Because the scalability of that in terms of positively affecting this industry, that's my goal. That's what I want. And I can't affect the industry change by doing leadership programs with 20 people at a time, you know? So this is me trying to reach a lot more people with this work. And I appreciate you guys being the foot soldiers right now and trying them out and seeing how they're working and sharing them with people. That's really important to me. And just let me know what you need. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll be in touch next week. I think we're gonna maybe hit phone calls, phone stuff next week. It's a horrible thing. It's a great thing and a horrible thing. But before we leave, we got 2 minutes left. Do you know what the biggest time waster on the planet is? Any guesses what that would be? It's television, actually. The average television watching time, and for those of you who say, oh, I don't watch this much, think about a couple of golf tournaments and maybe a couple of big games on the weekend. Your average time per day goes up pretty quick. So the average time in the US is about 4.5 hours a day. Okay. So if you take that through your life, by 65, you've watched 9 years of television. Wow. 9 years of television. What could you do with 9 years? You could get a PhD. You get 2 PhDs in 9 years. So that's a big time waster. And the latest stats on screen time, that's phone, tablet, computer, television, is 12 hours a day. Average. So you got 12 hours a day. You got, so let's just say 8 hours of sleep. You got 4 hours a day to live your life. And what are you doing with those 4 hours? It's something to really start thinking about. Because although this is important, this phone, don't let it rule your life. I think I told people last time I turned my phone back into a phone. I have no social media apps. I have no email unless I'm traveling. I do put my emails in case something changes and I need to know about it. But when I'm at home, there's no email. I keep picking it up and there's nothing to do. So I put it back down, right? Sort of like when my dad was quit smoking cigarettes and he kept his cigarettes in his pocket and he did that 30 times a day, you know? So anyway, that's another time waster. Maybe we'll tackle phone next week. I've got some really good stuff for phone stuff. So again, guys, have a great weekend. Have a great week. I'm be at the beach next week through Thursday, so I'm golden. But I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Have a great week.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, everybody.